Hello, welcome to part 4 of this masterclass on polyphenols and flavonoids and other food antioxidants. So far, we've looked at the broad class of polyphenols that are found in foods and in herbs and in other natural plants. We looked at the subclasses of polyphenols, and we looked at specifically the flavonoids, which are plant pigments that are in the orange, yellow, red, purple group. We looked at specifically the most dominant flavonoids in the human diet, quercetin, luteolin, and some of the others that scientists have found are the most easily absorbed from our food. And we also looked at the anthocyanins, which is the largest class of flavonoids that are used by the human body. In this unit, in the last lesson, we looked at the anthocyanins, which are the purple, red, and blue flavonoids found in berries and other purple fruits and berries. And we also talked about betalains, which are the purple, red, blue non-flavonoids that are found in the spinach and goosefoot family, specifically the Amaranthaceae family. And one thing that I didn't mention in the last video, but that I should mention, they're also found in the cactus family. So the pinky purple that's found in the Nopiary cactus, those are betalains, not anthocyanins. In this lesson, we're moving away from the flavonoids to look at one more very important phytochemical that has huge benefits and huge antioxidant and health benefits to the human body, and that's the carotenoids. We would be remiss if we didn't address them. A few of the characteristics of the carotenoids: they are fat soluble. We learned that the flavonoids and other polyphenols are all water soluble, even though they have an aromatic ring. The carotenoids are fat soluble, and they're also heat stable. And we learned that the anthocyanins in the flavonoid group are not heat stable, even though some of the other flavonoids are. So the carotenoids are responsible for the red, the orange, and the yellow hues in some fruits and vegetables. Carotenoids are also tissue specific, so that if you ingest them and your body absorbs them into your bloodstream, they're going to go specifically to certain tissues in your body. The flavonoids were more universal, where if you ate them, they would be used in your entire body. They support your blood, they support your organs. But we're going to find with the carotenoids that they have specific targets in the human body, so that if you ingest certain carotenoids, they go to a specific part of your body, and scientists can take the tissue from that body part and find carotenoids there. 10% of all carotenoids that are utilized by the human body are precursors to retinol, which can be converted in the human body to vitamin A. So you may have heard, you need to eat your carrots because you need more vitamin A. There's actually no vitamin A in carrots, but there are precursors to vitamin A, which then your body can convert to vitamin A once you've ingested it. Carotenoids are the most plentiful antioxidant in the human diet, and that's exactly why we're talking about them. So where are the carotenoids found? Well, they're found in orange fruits and vegetables. They're found in red fruits and vegetables. They're found in deep yellow fruits and vegetables. They're also found in orange flowers, in rose hips. And in fact, we learned when we took the rose master class, we learned that the carotenoid lycopene is increased when the rose hip goes through a frost. So one of the reasons that we allow rose hips to go through frost before we harvest them is because of the lycopene, which is a carotenoid that we're going to learn more about in this lesson. Crude palm oil is one of the richest sources of carotenoids in the human diet. Some other rich sources are gac fruit, which is a tropical fruit. Tomatoes are probably the highest source of carotenoids. Green leafy vegetables, which is kind of weird because they're green, right, and not red or orange, but the chlorophyll in green leafy vegetables actually masks the carotenoids. So if you could remove all the chlorophyll, you'd find out that the vegetables were in fact yellow or orange or red, and that's from the carotenoids. Egg yolks are another rich source of carotenoids because, as we learned, carotenoids are fat soluble, so you'll find them in the fat of egg yolks. Virgin olive oil and olives are a good source of carotenoids. They're also a good source of flavonoids. So That's one of the reasons that Mediterranean diet is such a healthy diet, is all of the flavonoids and carotenoids that are in olive oil. It's also found in deep blue-green algae, cyanobacteria. Now, this is the molecular structure of carotenoids, and you can see it looks nothing at all like those 3 carbon rings. We have 1 ring or 2 rings sometimes. They contain 40 carbon atoms, and they're built from 4 terpene units, each containing 10 carbon atoms. The Pauline carbon hydrocarbon chain is sometimes terminated with O-rings and sometimes not, and it may or may not have an oxygen atom attached. So if you see an O or an OH, O is an oxygen atom, OH is an oxygen and a hydrogen bond. Now, how does the human body utilize carotenoids? And it's actually miraculous in my mind. I found it so exciting to read this. Now, scientists have found this by feeding diets high in carotenoids to animals and also to humans, and then checking their blood, checking their bowel movements, and also doing tissue cultures to see where are the carotenoids. And so we know that beta carotene is converted in the liver and small intestines to retinol, which is a vitamin A precursor. The body then can take retinol and turn it into vitamin A as needed. Carotenoids, because they're fat soluble, are actually stored in the fat of the body. So you don't have to eat them every single day like vitamin C in order to get them used. They're stored in the fat of your body, and when your body needs them, it breaks down using glycogen, breaks it down in the liver. And then once it's broken down in the liver, carotenoids are stored in the tissues of the body. So beta carotenes are stored in the skin, and they protect the skin from sun damage by UV rays, one of the antioxidant effects. The carotenoids lutein and zeaxanthin are stored in the eyes and the brain. And then lycopene is stored in the prostate and the adrenal glands, and it's also stored in the lungs and the liver and the stomach. And we're going to learn more about beta carotene, lutein, zeaxanthin, and lycopene. These are all carotenoids. Some of the benefits of carotenoids. Well, they're antioxidant, of course. Everything we've talked about in this masterclass is antioxidant. They also support the immune system, and they're immunomodulating. They are beneficial for sun exposure because they're stored in the skin. They actually protect the skin from sun damage. They're anti-inflammatory. Now, specific carotenoids go to specific tissues in the human body. Unlike flavonoids that are more universal, carotenoids are protective of certain parts of the body. So lutein and zeaxanthin protect the eyes, and lycopene protects the prostate. And in fact, lycopene supplements in the European Union are prescribed for prostate cancer and precancerous stages of the prostate, because they're found to be specific to healing the prostate. They're also prescribed for male infertility because they improve sperm motility. Now, lycopene is found in tomatoes. We're going to look a little bit deeper into lycopene and into lutein and zeaxanthin later in this lesson. Carotenoids reduce mortality from all causes. So people with diets high in carotenoids, just like in flavonoids, even if they get sick, they're less likely to die from the sickness. A diet high in carotenoids reduces cancer risk by 50% or more. Carotenoids are also cardioprotective. Now, this is, again, one of the reasons why the Mediterranean diet has so many health benefits. Now, these are some of the important carotenoids. These are found in 90% of the carotenoids in the body. So alpha carotene, beta carotene, lycopene, lutein, not luteolin, which is a flavonoid, and zeaxanthin. So lutein and zeaxanthin are stored in eye tissue. And scientists have said that if you eat anything with lutein and zeaxanthin in it, it's going to be stored in your eye tissue. It's going to be found in your macula. It's going to be found in your retina. And a little story, Mr. Joybilee, Robin, he was having some problems he was diagnosed with glaucoma. I made a tincture for him with bilberry and with marigold flowers, which are one of the highest sources of lutein and zeaxanthin, and also calendula flowers, and that's it. Calendula, marigold, and bilberry. And I made an alcohol tincture with it. And we made him some tea with eyebright, a couple of other very high flavonoid herbs. And he drinks the tea every day. He washes his eyes with it. If you're interested in this, you can find the recipe on my blog. I'll leave a link in this lesson. What he found was that his glaucoma, which was a circulatory glaucoma, not related to pressure in his eye. It was because of a lack of blood circulation that he was diagnosed with it. But his eyesight improved so much that he was taken off the glaucoma drops by his doctor, and he had a reversal in some of his eyesight problems, so much so that we had to get new eyeglasses for him at his last doctor's appointment because his eyes had improved 2 steps. Lutein and zeaxanthin are stored in the eye tissue, and it's been found that they improve eyesight. They don't just maintain eyesight, but they actually improve eyesight. A diet high in these carotenoids or supplemented reduces the risk of cataracts, reduces the risk of macular degeneration, reduces the risk of glaucoma. It also has been found to improve night vision, and it protects against the damage from blue light and UV light. So if you spend a lot of time on your screen, you might think of lutein and zeaxanthin. Find ways to get more of them in your diet, make your own tincture, or even consider supplements. They do have supplements now specifically for the eyes with lutein and zeaxanthin in them, as well as bilberries. Lutein accumulates in the brain as well, and it improves neural efficiency, it improves memory, and it protects the brain from oxidative damage. And scientists think that might even protect the brain from Alzheimer's. There are some studies going on right now with lutein and Alzheimer's. Lycopene. Lycopene is found in tomatoes. It's stored in the prostate, as we mentioned. It protects against prostate cancer. It also improves the viability of sperm and the motility. It improves male fertility. Tomato consumption at least once a week reduced mortality from all cancers, not just prostate cancer, by 50%. And tomato consumption at least 5 times a week significantly reduced the risk of prostate cancer. And lycopene is also cardioprotective. Now, as we mentioned, beta-carotenes are fat soluble. So eating carotenoids with fat in the meal enhances their absorption by the body. And this is one of the reasons why taking supplements is not 100% the best way to make sure that you have enough carotenoids in your diet. Because if you take a pill on an empty stomach and you don't have any fats, say you're on a low-fat diet, then you're not going to absorb those carotenoids that are in that pill. In fact, it's just going to go straight through you. You'll probably have yellow pee, honestly. So you want to eat carotenoids with fat in the meal. And if you're taking supplements, make sure you take them with a meal. You want to take them with pepper, and you want to take them with some fat. Cooking makes them more easily absorbed. So again, if you're just taking them as supplements and you're not taking them with a meal, you may not be absorbing them. And then particularly with lycopene, pureeing them in a tomato paste, for instance, or cooking them down in a tomato sauce makes the cell structure break and makes the carotenoids more bioavailable. Carotenoids are more easily absorbed in the Mediterranean diet with olive oil and vegetables than they are as a supplement. So rather than relying on supplements, improve your diet first. And then if you feel you still need a supplement, take those supplements with meals rather than taking them in the morning on an empty stomach. Vegetarians have more carotenoids in their bodies than meat eaters, and that makes sense because hopefully they have more vegetables in their body than meat eaters. One thing to consider if you are a meat eater is to make the vegetable portion of your meal take up half your plate. If they take up half your plate, then you're generally getting enough vegetables in the day. Supplements of lutein and zeaxanthin with anthocyanins for eye health are on the market right now. I've seen them in Costco. You can find them. Again, if you're going to take a supplement, take it with a meal. Lycopene supplements are on the market for men's sexual health now. And again, take it with a meal. Generally, carotenoids are non-toxic when they're taken in a purified form, even at high doses. If you're a smoker or you have been a smoker in the past, you should talk to your doctor before you supplement with carotenoids, because supplements can actually increase the risk of lung and stomach cancers in smokers. Now, the results are not completely firm, but it's something to talk to your doctor about. Smokers can have a lot of carotenoids in their food. So if you are a smoker or you were a smoker, for now, get your carotenoids from your food, but talk to your doctor about supplements. Now, in this lesson, we looked at carotenoid antioxidants, where you could find them and what their benefits are. We also did a deep dive into 3 carotenoids, lutein, zeaxanthin, and lycopene. And we talked about the benefits of the 5 or more prevalent carotenoids and their specific health benefits. We also talked about how to increase the bioavailability of carotenoids in the diet. And just to recap, eating them with fat, eating them with a meal, only using supplements if you can also take them with a meal. In this masterclass, we talked about flavonoids and other phytonutrients. We talked about how the color of food can indicate what kind of phytonutrients are in the food. And we discussed the differences between flavonoids, which are water soluble, and carotenoids, which are oil soluble or fat soluble. We also talked about how to make the phytonutrients that you eat more bioavailable. And we also talked about betalains and anthocyanins. Anthocyanins being a type of flavonoid and betalains being a completely different phytonutrient, and how they share similar antioxidant properties. I hope you enjoyed this masterclass, and I'd love to hear what your views are on flavonoids and antioxidants.